Hello, beloveds. I'm so excited as well to share with you this whole process of how my new program, the Lotus-Born Heart, has emerged and is launching in just a week. And the new cohort, the foundational cohort, is always very exciting because there is a lot of experimentation, there is a lot of opening up. And of course, it's building on the structures of my Holographic Being Accelerator and the previous editions and the successful structures and in instruments inside of the program. So of course we are building on the previous flagship program, but the Lotus-Born Heart process is a journey that is different and differentiated from the Holographic Being Accelerator. And I'm here this evening to answer you all your questions. I'm coming in a time where there are so many timelines and so many realities and so many parallel realities moving inside of the space, moving inside of our soul, our system here. I have been feverishly, feverishly empathizing and praying for my friends and colleagues and partners in LA. I have been praying for my people in Gaza, since months and months, and now there is a jubilation and a relief for the ceasefire, and then the earthquake in Tibet. The holographic reality, a lot of people will call it the poly crisis. I heard that term yesterday from one of my teachers and colleagues, but I won't even say that this is a crisis. What I would say is that we are opening ourselves into a portal of opening our realities. And quantum leaps and lost socks is released in such a time frame, in such a time needle ear, in such a time of being in this world. So you can be in this world taking all of the media and all of the news and all the loud gigants of Trumps and Musks and wars and catastrophes and all of that. Of course, you can take these frequencies in, but you can also tune yourself. You can also create a kind of an inner GPS to tune yourself to other signals that maybe are connecting and creating that channel with you personally inside of your system. Inside of the holographic being means that you have all of these realities inside of you. The holographic being means that you are the power of yourself. You are the guru of yourself. You are your own discipline. You are your own North Star. So the self-guidance, the self-listening, the deep listening to your own system, your own reality, your own perception, without the noise out there, without the gurus out there. Every morning I wake up and I look at my YouTube or Instagram. There is a kind of a guru, a kind of a channeler, a kind of a wise person giving you an advice here and there, and some bits and bytes over there, but actually you have the whole multiverse inside of you. This is the holographic being, and this is also the new revelations of the quantum physics. So let me, before I go into the program and show you the differentiations between my previous holographic being accelerator and what is happening now inside of our new journey, let me talk about the book Quantum Leaps and Lost Socks first. So where can I start? I can start with my own initiation. It was just before the so-called pandemic. I'm calling it the global retreat. So So I was in the Dendera temple visiting like every other tourist, and then suddenly a whole celestial conference with the whole Egyptian pantheon around me, with Isis, Tehoti, Thoth, Hathor, Sekhmet, Bast, like all of them just gathered around me, giving me instructions, revelations, insights about the upcoming pandemic that I didn't understand really, because I didn't grasp that there will be something global happening just a few days later. And then it started to fall all into place about the visions and the work that I've been doing since decades. Started as an artist, and then a filmmaker, then a culture diplomat, then a healer, then all of these properties, I would say, of Ima, they have gathered together, galvanized together inside of the holographic being. Then I created my flagship program, my signature program, the Holographic Being Accelerator. I wanted to help multidisciplinaries and professionals from across the globe to get into their new quantum leap, into their new threshold. And the editions were always limited to 12 to 16 people. And then it was very well chosen, and then it was a very rigorous program of 3 weeks. But then what happened to the accelerator is that I thrown you off the spaceship, so to speak, without a kind of integrational process. Of course, I had a one-to-one follow-up, but it was not, it was not enough to guide you through the actual threshold and implementation and manifestation of what happened, of the thrust that happened inside of the accelerator. So that was something that stayed with me. And then I got very sick, like debilitating sick. Most of you know about this. So I had this trigeminal neuralgia. So I wasn't even, the latest phase, I wasn't even able to move or swallow or move any part of my body without electroshock like pains. So I was lying down between life and death, not eating, not wanting to be in this world anymore. And there was a movement where I crossed over, and they sent me back. They said, "Hey, your job here is not finished, darling." So I asked, "What is my job?" And they said, "Joy frequency." And I was thinking, okay, joy frequency, what is this? And what I understood is that I got, actually 1 year later, I came back to the Dendera temple on the equinox with my beloved husband, and I got another transmission. This one, it was much shorter due to the guards. They were like flies over me, because the very first celestial meeting year before, it was 2 hours, but I was totally alone. But here, with my husband as a tourist, it didn't work. So I had a very short session of 11 minutes transmission, where they were saying to me, "You are transmitting a love frequency into this world that never have entered this plane before." So I was listening to this, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, how can I do this? How can I, there are no references anymore, no lineages, no disciplines, no dogmas, no gurus. I had been listening to Jiddu Krishnamurti for so long, and he was the one who pushed us to, to ditch all of the systems, all of the thoughts, all of this whole, field of gurus and dogmas and disciplines. But here, my guides are pushing me into another notch. I am transmitting a frequency that never have been here before. So I didn't really grasp it, and I put it aside, because I was thinking this is too auspicious. Nobody will believe me. I'm not a messiah. I'm not, I'm not a goddess. I am a human being. I'm Ima. So I have pushed it away and actually moved in my field as I have been. Then I got sick and I went into the duat. In our cosmology, it's the Netherlands. So I went through that dark time of the being, not only of the soul, the dark night of the being for almost a year. And now I'm here, fully recovered, fully back home, and fully grasping the power of that joy frequency. Because what I'm grasping here is that I am fully Ima into this world. This is my job, and this is my inquiry, and this is my process of uncovering, discovering, relearning, unlearning. This is my job. This is how I show up every morning. This is how I show up in every interaction I'm doing, from acro yoga to my calls, to my leadership, mentorship, consulting. I'm entering a big platform that is replacing the Facebook in just a few years' time, even sooner, I believe, because of the features and because of the vision for this new Aquarian age. So being yourself is the most potent, being your holographic being is the most potent medicine and most potent lifeline and the most potent reality you are bringing into this world. I tell you why. Because in the quantum physics of the entanglement and the interconnected being of the holographic universe or multiverse, every little, the butterfly effect, every little action, thought, being, emotion, action, manifestation, projection, everything is connected to the whole and entangled to the whole. So if you are your highest frequency, your highest potency, if you are really moving on, but not with hard work and self-development and yoga for hours and meditations for hours and hard work and paying thousands of dollars for your therapist and programs and all of these gurus out there that are getting rich on you, you are doing the process yourself. Here comes the Lotus-Born Heart process. So what happened here is that I have worked across these decades with lots of disciplines, hands-on disciplines, energy work, artwork, film work, mentorship work. I have worked through many disciplines. So what I did is, because I was still very, very fragile, my heart was bounding because I wanted to, I came back into this life, so I wanted to share. So I started to write, and I started to bring in all of my experiences, my memoirs, of 6 decades of living this life fully, nomading the disciplines, nomading this earth, from Madagascar to California, from Kazakhstan to to the end of the world, so to speak. So I started to write in this book, and it was like a tsunami. I wasn't even able to say, okay, I'm writing 2 or 3 hours. I was actually writing night and day, and there was a lot of worries about this. But the book had to come through. The process of the Lotus-Born Heart had to come through. So the very first question that will come and will arise here is, what is the Lotus-Born Heart process? So I have been, before I got very sick, before I entered into the duat, I have been with 12 other wonderful women from across this globe. into a pilgrimage in Egypt, my very first one, with a boat and traveling the temples and creating these transmissions and initiations and channelings. And then I got very sick. What I have observed is the lotus. When I came 12 years before to Egypt with homeopath, hello, hello, hello. I'm so happy that you are here live with me. So, when I visited Egypt 12 years ago, with homeopath to triturate the blue lotus. There was no blue lotus in Egypt. We had to import it from guardians of the blue lotus in the US. So now when I traveled with these 12 other women, 13 women, moving in beautiful harmony and connection and transmission inside of this pilgrimage, I have seen many guardians across Egypt with the blue lotus. Also, when I lived in Berlin, in my little home beside the forest in Grunewald, in Ruhleben, the still life, my still life in Berlin. I was living beside a pond of lotus, not the blue lotus, the lotus that has been growing in Germany. And I've been sitting in front of this pond for hours and days and months and years. I wanted to study the rhythms. I wanted to study when do they open up, when do they close and go back into the mud. So when I observed the lotus, the blue lotus in Egypt, I started to create my book process for the 5 phases of the lotus. So the very first one is the primal mud. It's the movement of the primal mud is the seed in the greenhouse. It's a fertile earth, but it is also a retreat. It's it's a hibernation process, and then it moves into seeking light because something triggers that blue lotus to to seek the light, to move out of the darkness. And then the thrusting through the water surface, the luminous ascent, when you when you open up yourself, the lotus opens up herself to the light, then it is luminous ascent. And then at one moment, the lotus will open all of her petals, the radiant blossoming. And of course, when you have a revelation, when you are in your full power of your revelation, of your, your insights, your own discipline, your own frequency, your own power, your own potency, your own purpose, and your own vision into this world, then it is the sacred seeding. Then you want to throw it off, all over the place, all over this globe, all over this multiverse, like I'm doing, and many of us so-called light workers and all other workers that are actually bringing in that other power, other force into being, and the Eden on earth. So I am back to be the joy frequency, to be Ima, and to bring Eden into this plane. And so are you. You are the holographic being. You are your most potent discipline, your most potent medicine, your most potent manifestation in this world. And the Lotus-Born Heart process will start next week on the 25th of January, where 5 planets will align for the naked eye. 5 planets on the sky. We are coming together in the primal mud. And I will be allowing, so the process will go 5 weeks, but I will be allowing the circling back to the primal mud, because I will be allowing onboarding this process in the very first 2 weeks, 2 phases, the primal mud and seeking light. Just to make this process of onboarding that program easy, organic, open to experimentation, open to new ways of being, new ways of leading, new ways of creating the space. Of course, I'm holding the space. And of course, there are structures. Of course, there will be a group call. Of course, there will be a group chat. Of course, there will be teachings from me. Of course, there will be a lot of all the successful instruments of my previous program. But here it is very focused on you and your process. It is very focused on what are you going through? What do you want to work on? What are you manifesting in this world now, beloved? So connect to me ASAP, as soon as possible now, and let us just board you on. You can question, you can connect to me on all levels, like email, here on Instagram. We are also live on YouTube. So you have so many channels. You have my website, holographicbeing.com. You have so many channels to connect to me. Ask me questions. Let us listen to your aspirations, your deepest aspirations. Let us listen to what wants to come through you, as has been the case with me through the Netherlands, through the dark time. Now we are in the light, and we are bringing that light into this world, beloved. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being in that field. Just being in that field is so precious, and being yourself is the most precious thing into this world. Be well, be well, be well, beloveds. I love you so much.